Just this sense that you just are effortlessly here. So the mind may judge this as a bit boring, or is this it? They're just thoughts appearing in this. There is a thought appears, then there's attention goes towards the thought, and then there's potential identification or a contraction. So all these layers sort of create this experience of a me, but the experience of a me is appearing in what you are. It's not what you are. Because can you leave what you are right now? Just this, just your most natural mode of being. Can you leave it? And if, where would you be going anyway? Because you notice there's nowhere outside of what you are. You find where you end without trying to, go to a mind. It'll come up with lots of concepts in direct experience. And it may offer, well, how do I keep this? Because what the mind is, it conceptualizes true nature. It'll say it's a state to keep, it'll label it. So now I've got to maintain that. But it's not something to maintain, it's what you already are, effortlessly. But if we've got an idea, we've got to maintain it, and then we've got more thoughts and feelings around, oh my goodness, I need some techniques. I'm going to, it makes a path, it adds all this effort. Attention sort of gets lost in the weeds of the mind. But what you are doesn't leave. You never leave home. He's always here when you turn attention, bring attention home to the heart center or to the spaciousness. Still here. It was just a movement. So attention is a movement, but we tend to think that movement is us going backwards and forwards. Got it, lost it. How do I get back? How do I maintain it? Are just thoughts appearing in this? The feeling of leaving is just a movement within this. Attention going towards thoughts, getting caught up in thoughts. And as soon as we've got this I belief, then we've got a looping I. I use this pen. So an I arises from a thought. Yeah, but I won't be able to maintain this. I know from last time or past. So it's now using reference memory of a me that doesn't exist. But because there was an experience, we don't deny experience. There was an experience of losing it. There was an experience, but it was only ever this remains as it is. And these are textures of experience within it that it never becomes. They're just ways it can experience in these beautiful flowing modes of just already okay. And that can be just a sense of ease and lightness or contraction, fear, panic, worry, push and pull, resistance. I don't like this. I don't want this. These are all I thoughts based in this. It's like a self. As soon as it's been adopted, it's important to see nobody's adopting it. Because we can have that thought as well. Oh no, I picked up an eye. Who's picking up an eye? The eye is a thought appearing in what you are. There's never an I. There's just an I thought that then it starts to build a story about an I that is almost hypnotizing to true nature, and it just sort of falls asleep to it. A bit like this. It sort of just falls asleep to itself and says, oh yes, where is my true nature? But of course what's looking is true nature. It was just a lens of separation it was using. It was just built up of this idea of a me. So now we've got this idea of a me, where we feel like we've got this grip, oh no, resistance to something, or tension, or that's based in a me now. It's my tension, my anger, whereas here there can still be room for anger, there can still be room for, fear can arise, but it doesn't belong to anybody. So it blows through. They're just normal functionings of a human experience. So that's okay. When life isn't taking itself and looking through that lens of separation, it it doesn't it has no weight. So they're just seen. So then we get to start to see that, oh, that's anger. Oh, there's an I thought. Oh, that it just arises and falls because these thoughts have no independent power. Because we are the infinite being. There's nothing apart from us. So it's the energy going towards it that feels very draining for the human experience. So it's the infinite being having a human experience, never an I, and the infinite being can have an experience of ease and joy or density and contrast. And it's just waking up to that. We were given a name and told we were a body mind, and that sets up the whole sort of experience. And then it's being everybody else is speaking in those terms. So language is a tricky one, you know. As soon as we say I, we think of this individual I, but it's the infinite being. It's an infinite I. Huge and vast. One I, one player game. So we have these stepping stones like opening the focus and resting back and dropping attention down, just to sort of give it so we have an experience of coming home again, but then we start to recognize we never leave. So the stepping stones are fine. They're useful tools, but don't think there's somebody going to being and there's somebody leaving being. That's an experience that what you are, the knowing of experience doesn't change, does it? Does your awareness change? Is it the same awareness all the way through your life? Every birthday, it's the same. You just, there's something that's the same, that's not aged. It's not in the time-bound world. Time appears in it. All experience appears in it. It's the knowing of experience. Not an I, not an individual I getting anything wrong. Because the mind will offer that we shouldn't be going backwards and forwards. We shouldn't be falling asleep. You know, and that's just more I thoughts based in lack and limitation. We have a chance to turn and look at what's actual. That what you are is undeniably already whole and complete. So if that's what can be found every single time, and when we turn towards the ever-changing, it's ever-changing. 1 minute it's telling you you're great, the next minute it's telling you rubbish. 1 minute it's telling you need to rest, you're running around too much. The next minute it's going, why are you sitting down? It's got an ever-changing, you know, commentary, all full of shoulds and shouldn't. Whereas from effortless being, from your true nature in its most natural mode, it's more a sense of, okay, what would feel good in this moment? It's not just sitting on the couch and doing nothing. It's just looking, okay, so there's stuff to be done. What seems like the easiest thing to be done, you know? And you might get up and do something completely different to all of those tasks, but then that creates the flow. There was something you hadn't quite and you come back, and then this seems to have sorted itself out, and you know, so it's looking for that whenever there's a contraction. We're not contracting, but it's a really good alarm system to go, oh, hang on a minute. I'll just relax my focus, my attention in my heart space, and recognize what I am. And that was just a thought, a feeling, an emotion that was being adopted, not by somebody, because that's a really tricky one. It's very easy to feel like I adopted that, but there is no I. It's just the way infinite being can. These layers and textures of experience, it's only texturing itself because there's nothing apart from you. What you are is not a thing. It's everything. And we don't need to try and use the mind to work all of this out, because that's when we go back in the weeds of a me that doesn't know what it's doing. Whereas if you rest in as what you are, and that's just the language, you can't not be what you are. If you need to really affirm what that is, turn towards what's looking. And then, I'm sorry, when I do that, my mind goes, let's just see what comes when I turn towards what's looking. It'd be interesting. I mean, for me, it's just totally delicious. And all the words all just seem so superfluous now, because all of that organizing and talking about it and all of that too is appearing in this. So there is just this. And, you know, I hinted earlier that the mind can offer that it's a bit boring, but actually the turning towards it is where I noticed it's so delicious. And there's almost this falling in love with yourself. Not an I falling in love, not an egotistical, it's just love itself. There's nothing apart from the, especially with the attention in the heart center. And that peace, because there's nothing missing. So there's just uncaused peace, uncaused. happiness, uncaused, already okay. It doesn't need anything from the ever-changing world because that's all fleeting, you know. And the only sense that we need something from there is if we're looking in that direction, we're projecting through a lens of lack and limitation. Then it's like, well, hang on a minute. I remember recognizing my truth and then looking towards the relative and going, well, why is that not how I want it? So there's a more subtle limitation adopted again. It's just this adopting limitation, thinking, well, that should be nice now. Recognize the truth. But actually, if you're already okay, do you need that to be any other way? And in not needing it to be any other way, it sorts itself out because there's no power in it. All that, so what happens is all those familiar patterns that we've had that keep coming round, whatever they are, based in lack of limitation, die because nobody's fueling them. It took me quite a while to work that out. So they're just not there. If you don't need them to change and you're already okay, they're not adopted, are they? I mean, it seems so obvious now. But there's a constant sort of positioning that the mind can create. Oh, so I just rest here. It just shimmies in with a little spiritual eye that's going to rest here in being. It just adopts a little position. So we just start to see through these positions because if there's any sense of lack and limitation or agenda, if there's an agenda, there's an I. So you see that, oh, I'll just rest here. So it's got an agenda. Sneaky. Because it'll come with a little spiritual hat on. You know, it'll start saying, well, you know, okay, so I'll just rest in being and I'll get I'll recognize more or I'll the relative will look better or I can't think what it used to offer, but it'll have all these bargaining things. So it's just an appearance within this. And there is just more and more seeing of that. It just becomes more obvious when we don't believe in the eye. So it's to see through what you're not and recognize what you are. That's the only two things to do. And you know it and really recognizing what you are is just it's already here. It's self-evident. You know what you are is just right here, right now. There's no path to it, is there? If it's already here, where's the path? You know, that's another little invitation. You know, that we've got to do all these things to get there, to maintain it. You know, and it's the turning towards it that reveals itself that it was all oh, it was always here. That's why it's called realization, because it's the realization that was already here. Oh, so it was just the looking in through this lens of limitation, you know, whatever books and you know, and they're all pointing back this way to what's actually searching is what we're looking for. It's already the case.